Welcome, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate very, very much. I hope everybody's having a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are maybe in the world. This has been a long time coming. I've had wanting to have this gentleman on my show for a while now. So I'm glad we've had the opportunity to have him on the show. I would like to introduce Johnny O from the Plot Hole. How are you, sir?
I'm well. I'm actually looking forward to this.
So am I. Like I said before we started the show, we've never really had a conversation, so this is going to be interesting.
This should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. Now, you did give me the PG warning, so I'm going to do the best that I can to keep it PG.
Thank you so much. I do try as well, but sometimes they do slip, and that's okay. Let me just say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Gregory. Thank you for coming. NA, thank you. It's good to see you again. And Bacon Earth, as usual. Clive Wells, nice to see you again. Thank you very, very much for coming in as well. Right, as usual, it's 4 questions. It's our own opinion. So again, if you have a strong opinion about what we say, it's okay. Just don't badger us or tell us that our opinion is wrong, because it is our own opinion and we are entitled to our own opinion. These questions were done last year, and so I can't remember them. So these are going to be our raw answers and opinions. If you have any questions at the end of each of our questions, you're more than welcome to put them in the chat and we will get to them as well. And I'd also like to add that I do not mind quirkiness in the side chat. I think it's showing me from last show with Crafty. It can be a lot of fun. So I enjoyed it very, very much. And I think it was, I think the chat had fun with being quirky as well. And Crafty Killer, thank you so much for joining, honey. It's good to see you. Right. Now that the housekeeping is all out of the way, shall we get going?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let me open up the questions when my computer decides to do its thing. I installed the game The Forest. Now, if you don't know the game, it's a horror game, survival horror game, and I never found shelter in time before darkness decided to creep in on me. And I heard a funny sound outside the plane that crashed, and I basically almost threw my earphones at the screen. I freaked out so much. It triggered my anxiety. I was sitting on my boyfriend and my fiance's lap almost crying because I freaked out so much. And since I installed that game, my computer decided it didn't like it and it's slowing down. I had to restart my computer before the show because it's just absolutely a nightmare. So that was me this weekend.
Sounds like you shouldn't play these types of games.
I didn't know it was going to be that scary. That's the problem. I knew it was going to be scary, but I didn't know it was going to be terrifying to a point where it actually, caused me anxiety. I mean, hello. Anyway. All right, this is a long one. Let's get going. And here we go. And what am I? Oh, here we go. I've forgotten how to use OBS for a second there. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Where do you think the most worthwhile place to find meaning in life? Work, family, hobby, religion, philosophy, helping others, or the small miracles, or something else entirely?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. I don't think that work or religion would qualify for fulfillment. Now, people who find fulfillment in work and religion, good on you. That's all sweet, but I feel like work and religion are there are too many rules that you have to follow. And I forget who said it, but a wise man, we'll call him, said that if you consider your job work, no, he said if you don't consider your job work, then you're not really working. And very few people have ever said that I just got up and went to work and had such a great time doing what I do, and I haven't really met somebody who hasn't been beat down by the grind of working. So we could just take that off the table. For me, it's definitely going to be family because I've got 4 awesome kids and a beautiful wife that kind of keep me in line. And it's something to look at these little rascals and see that here they are learning some stuff from me, some goofy guy who's never really amounted to much other than the example that he sets for his children. So I think that's where I get the majority of my fulfillment.
I agree. I think family can be the best place for fulfillment. My family, we're on my mom's side are Italian, Afrikaans Italian, should I say, and family is a huge thing. And aunts, uncles, cousins, we all get together, have a good time, and we enjoy each other's company, and we've all helped each other out in our own way, in a way we can. And sometimes if it wasn't for my family, I don't know where I'd be.
Right.
Family to me is everything. Sometimes even my friends have been there when my family can't be there for me, so.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But then those are friends that I consider family.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. A lot of people think that family means, by blood and blood only. I tend to disagree with that. I've got some friends of mine that, they would do, if I said, hey, I need some help, they would drop what they're doing right now and come and help. Yeah. And vice versa, So yeah, family doesn't just have to be by blood. And I'm with you. I've got, I'm Mexican on my father's side, so I've got more cousins than I could ever begin to count. My goodness, we had one family reunion where we got half of the family together, and there were still too many people there. Crazy.
Yeah. When I was before COVID hit, I was busy doing my guest list for my wedding, and just my family alone. Some of them, I'm not including the family in Italy. There was 60 people. 60 on my mom's side, not my dad's side, on my mom's side.
That sounds about right.
And that's aunts, uncles, cousins, my cousins' children, and it's just so many. So, there goes half my wedding guest list, not even, no, actually more than half. It's 80% of my wedding guest list to family only, so it's just, I think family can be the most important.
I definitely see that. Again, for me, getting the fulfillment out of raising these rascals. And, they actually, even after I've had to correct some behavior, even after that, they still, don't mind me being around. It's kind of cool.
Well, that's good though. But I mean, family at any, whenever people are going through things, I think is the best. It's just to be with family. I mean, when I was younger, I moved out for a bit to live with my boyfriend at the time. And even when I was sick, I just drove to my parents' house. I said, oh, Mom, I just want to be here while I'm sick. Just because I wasn't feeling well.
Right.
And, it's good. People are telling me that I sound far away from my mic still. Am I still sounding far away from my mic?
A little bit. And yeah, they're saying that Facty says that you're interviewing from your hallway.
I haven't changed anything. I don't understand. I haven't changed a thing. Makes no sense.
It's the fun. Do you have like a webcam and an independent microphone?
Hang on, let's have a look. See, maybe it's changed my mic.
That's possible.
Maybe it's changed my mic. I'll be very angry if it did. Is that better?
There we go.
There we go. It changed the mic to the camera mic. Assholes. Yep. Okay, thanks everyone.
Hey, this is supposed to be PG-13. I mean PG.
Still assholes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, how about philosophy or helping others?
I mean, so helping others is important too. Yeah. Philosophy. I mean, I study, like, very briefly studied philosophy. I had to do a lot of it in college. Um, and I don't know, some of it's just a bunch of snob-nosed hooey that a bunch of people got together and decided that what I'm saying is important, so therefore you have to study it. I'm thinking, piss off. I mean, come on. The whole Descartes argument about if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it still make noise? Yes, it still makes noise. That's the dumbest thing. Why are we talking about this? It's so stupid. Let's move on to things that are important. Like, I don't know, how do we build a house? How do we, feed our families? What do we got to do to survive? It's just the philosophy it's interesting. It is interesting, but I mean, it's also silly to me at the same time.
Well, I mean, we are doing a stream now about philosophy anyway, so...
This is true.
But this is the fun one where we don't have to learn anything. We just have to understand each other.
Right.
You don't have to agree with each other either.
Right.
So, but I enjoy this. Like, I mean, like I said in the beginning of doing these kind of things, is these are the kind of questions and kind of conversations you'd have with a friend at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and, you can't just go and sit next to someone and say, so what do you think the meaning of life is? It's just going to be weird, and so I would like to have more. I like having these kind of conversations. I thought, let me move it to YouTube and let's do this. And I'm really enjoying it. I really, really am. And, to have different people's points of views and different ways of life coming on here and telling me their side and what they think compared to me, because I'm not as skeptical as majority of the community. So to listen to a skeptic side of philosophy is actually really interesting. And each of you have a different point of view, which is amazing. Some of you think outright blasphemy on religion, that is a bunch of crap, where some say, or spirituality even, and some people say, it's all right, but here's the problems, or here's no problems, or, here's what I think about it. And I think it's just so fascinating when it comes to these kind of conversations.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing that I took away from philosophy was the respectful exchange of idea and keeping things respectful. Like, I mean, I've never really discussed my spirituality, religious beliefs. I've always played devil's advocate with anybody I'm having a conversation with, like J.L. Warren, for instance. He is adamantly atheistic in his viewpoint. But I have no problem playing the theist to bounce back and forth with him, just to kind of to engage his thought process, to engage my thought process, just to see what what he comes up with, what are the things he says. And it definitely helps with his argumentation when he's coming to do it, creating his videos or getting into back and forth with other theists who are going to be more, I guess, originally theistic and not necessarily, the devil's advocate like I am. But yeah, I definitely don't speak about my religious beliefs or my spiritual beliefs, just in general, because I don't know. I've never really thought that those conversations were important. Like, I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe, and that's fine. You can believe whatever it is you want to believe when it comes to spirituality. Because I think that should be a very deeply personal thing for everybody. I've never been one for church. I've always thought it was just a big old barn full of people who were faking. So. Yeah.
I think I just want to mention, unfortunately, J.L. Warren couldn't. I mean, J.L. Warren. I'm reading his name in the freaking chat. Johnny couldn't be with me on the ship itself, so he's joining us from a hologram projector. So, but I do appreciate the long distance conversation. The technology on the ship is amazing.
I like what you got going on here. I like the. I'm assuming this is stellar cartography that we're sitting in, or is this the actual main bridge?
It's the main bridge.
See, I could sit in this seat all day long.
You see, we are actually sitting in. I don't know if anybody has seen The Cosmos by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'm sorry, but The Cosmos is not by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
It was first by wait, I've got his name in my head. Carl Sagan.
There you go.
And then Neil deGrasse Tyson has done
That's true.
A new one. So
that's one of the guys that Carl Sagan was the first person that I heard say that. I've never. He said, people who work whatever. He said, I've never worked a day in my life. He's one of the few people that I remember. Whenever you would watch him on his show or that show on Cosmo, he was, oh man, look, you could tell he absolutely loved every bit of what he was doing.
Yes.
Never a day where he wasn't enjoying his work.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we're actually sitting in. If anybody's seen it, we're actually sitting in the ship of imagination that Neil deGrasse Tyson uses to get around everywhere from microscopic size all the way to somewhere in the universe. So we're sitting in that ship.
Sounds like the little Einsteins.
Hey?
Sounds like the ship on the little Einsteins.
I'm not too well versed on that show.
That's okay. You don't have kids.
I just thought it was the one ship that hasn't been used as a backdrop, so I thought let me use it anyway. So I think helping others is a good way to also fulfill your life and make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I don't know. I absolutely enjoy helping other people when I can. I have no problem sacrificing whatever time that I have to go help somebody else out, and I don't know, I guess the problem for me is when people get into that, like, oh, I helped you out last week. Cool. I can't help you out this week because of this. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel people often abuse that dynamic. Well, I did this for you. I did this for you last week. Cool. I appreciated it last week. I'm not doing something for you this week because I can't do it. I'm tied up with this, or I got that going. I don't know.
They use it against you, basically.
Yeah. That whole business is like, come on, guys. I'll gladly give you the shirt off my back if I can afford it.
Yes. When I used to go out with friends when I was younger, they say, let's go out and just go have a milkshake or something. I'm like, I don't have money this time, but we can go out when I've got money again. They say, well, I'll buy you a milkshake this time, and next time we go out, you do the same. And it's not like we have to. I mean, if we go out again and they have money, or we both have money and we both split it. But if there's a time where they don't have money for a milkshake, but we both want to go out, then I was like, cool, I'll spot you this time. And that's how we do it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a milkshake. It doesn't have to be of value either. It's,
right.
I'll spot you this time and you can spot me next time, whenever that may be, whenever it is needed. It's not like we have to do it that way. If you got money, do it. If you don't have money, one of us spots each other. If we both don't have money, cool, I'll come to your house and have coffee.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to go out. And I think with my friends, it's how we kept it to a place of, you owe me kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Went to that type of thing.
I mean, the people that I try that I keep close, they're not like that. They're like, well, I did this for you, so they don't keep a running tally.
Yes.
And I've never done that. I've never, oh well, hey, I did this for you. No, man. If I do something for you, it's because I can. It's because I have the availability. I can. Whatever, I can do it. Boom, here we go. Here, I helped you out, and I don't care about repayment. If I give you money, if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I need to borrow $20," like, here's $20. Take it. If I've got it, you can have it. I'll pay you back. I'm not worried about it. As far as I'm concerned, that $20 is gone. So if you give me $20 whenever, that's cool. I'll take it back, and we'll be cool. But I'm not expecting it back. You got to be able to put yourself in that position. And I hate keeping tally. I'm probably harder on myself when I need to borrow something from someone than I am on other people when they need to borrow from me. Like, you borrow from me, just take it. Here, take it.
Yeah. And it's the thing is, sometimes we'll get caught by that person that never, returns the favor at all. Like we kind of just keep taking. So eventually you become tainted from helping people because of that one person. And I think that can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
For your own self, for your own psyche, because now, and for anybody else that you want to help, but you've been tainted, so everybody else just suffers because of that one person.
Right. And again, that's generally the reason why, I'll do it on a case by case basis, and not even a person by person. It's just the instance. I can, hey, boom. If I got it, somebody says, hey, I need to borrow this. Yeah, go ahead, take it. It was like, hey, can I borrow your camera? Yeah, I expect that back when you're done with it, and it better be in the condition that it's, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like, well, hey, I did this for you. No, man, here, do it. No worries. Don't worry about it.
Well, apparently I owe Bacon Earth 1.5 million pounds. So
what he didn't put on there, he means pounds of bacon.
And you see,
that's a lot of pigs there.
Yes, and I don't know where I would get that many pigs, but well done, well done. Oh my goodness! So it says here, it's when it says, where do you think the most worthwhile place to find meaning of life? And it asks here all the small miracles. Now that could be a very broad word. Miracles could mean anything to anybody. Mean something different to anybody.
Yeah, it really can. For me, the only thing that I would consider miracles are my children. And we had our youngest was born with underdeveloped lungs. She was 6 weeks early, had to spend 4 weeks in the NICU. So that was a very scary time for us. So she is, she's definitely our little miracle. But yeah, that word is so loaded though. The word miracle is so loaded because of what people think. And sometimes I feel like just a little twinge of guilt when I say that, because there were other people that were in the same NICU that didn't make it out.
Yes.
And what made my baby more important than their babies in the sense of that term miracle. So it's a little twinge of guilt there, but.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people don't believe in it was meant to happen sort of situation. Mm-hmm. Or there's a reason why it happened that way. For me, I do believe in things like that. There's a reason why she survived and some didn't. She's got something that she needs to do in your life, whether it is for you or your wife or someone else in your family or someone in her life, or even for herself. She's got something that she needs to do. And, that to me, this is why, it's a meant to be something I believe in. It was mm-hmm. meant to be. It was something that had to happen. Maybe I know this is going to sound very harsh, but the babies that did not make it, it was meant to be, and I'm sure they did serve a purpose in what they brought to the little bit of life they did have on this planet, or even the 9 months they were, in the tummy. They either brought the couple together, or they helped the couple understand that this is not what's meant to be, or they did have a reason to be. And a lot of people say, yeah, it's God's will, but I don't conform to that. It was meant to do. There was a reason for why it happened that way. Whether we understand it or not, and we may never know or never understand it, it's that's the question. And we will only know once it's happened. This is the reason why you're brought into my life. This is the reason why you've met this person. This is the reason why this has happened, type of thing. And she survived because she was meant to do something in her life, whether it is for herself or someone else.
Yeah, man, she's a tenacious little turd too. My goodness.
she might be the one to cure cancer. You never know.
That's true. That's true.
So
God, I hope so. I could use that retirement.
Oh, goodness gracious. Do you think that there's something else entirely worthwhile to find for a meaning in life?
That's a tough one. I mean, the meaning of life, that's such an individual question too. Because what you think the meaning of life is not what I'm going to think the meaning of life is, because we all have our own individual experiences. Man, that's such a that really is one of those interesting questions that will never be answered universally. It can't be. It's impossible to answer that universally, because again, it's so different. And everybody says 42, and I get the joke, but you just, if you think about it, the meaning of life for you could be, you and your fiance, whatever, you find your fulfillment in whatever it is you guys decide to find fulfillment in. That's the meaning of life for you, but that's not the meaning of life for me, because you finding fulfillment does jack all for me. I mean, I'm happy for people who can get that fulfillment. You know what I mean? But it's not like your fulfillment is going to serve my fulfillment. So, man, it's just, it's such an individual question. I don't know. Like I said, I would love to be able to meet my great grandchildren. That's kind of where I would like to be when it's my time to check out. And
you've already met your grandchildren.
Yeah, well, not just my grandchildren, but my great grandchildren. My grandmother had every one of her great grandchildren on her refrigerator. She had pictures of all of them. And she would say, this is so and so, this is so and so's daughter, or this is so and so's son. Born this date, she had all, and that was just like a steel trap. You could tell that it was extremely important to her that, her great grandchildren. So I would love to be in that spot where I've given, everything that I can to my kids, and hopefully have given them enough to find fulfillment of their own, and raise whatever family it is they want to raise. You know what I mean? I don't expect them to have children. If they do, that's awesome. Like I said, I would love to have grandchildren, and then again, great grandchildren. But that's my fulfillment. You know what I mean? So that's really just kind of that question is so individual. It's such a good question too, because it's a good way to reflect on your life.
Well, I mean, that was the first question I brought forward. I mean, ask Bacon, for him, it was one of the most difficult questions. He basically sat there laughing, because it's actually was it you, Bacon, that I brought that question to, what the meaning of life is? I don't know. I can't remember, but I know I brought it to someone, and it was like, it's a difficult question. And for me, I don't know if there is something besides what is listed here. I don't know if there is something else entirely besides what's listed here that is worthwhile, that's to place in the, okay, it wasn't you, sorry, Bacon, to put in a place of that brings meaning to my life. I mean, it's my mom, my dad, my sister, my fiance, then it's the rest of my family, my friends, or actually my family, then the people my friends that I consider family, and then friends, so, and then everything else follows suit, so, and what I've got in my life now, besides your ups and downs that we have, the things that bring a little bit of stress into your life, it's going to happen anyway and regardless. But I think that I have a good life. I really do have a good life. I mean, I have a lot of things that a lot of people don't have. And I mean, I did a video a couple months ago talking about how grateful I am of what I've got in my life and where I am now. I mean, YouTube, especially, I cannot tell you how grateful I am, even just to have cats help me with it or do a video with me, how grateful I am about the reception just of that video alone. And I mean, and now I'm just talking basically on the internet kind of thing, the YouTube thing of how grateful I am there. And it has brought me fulfillment. And even now doing Twitch, being on Twitch has actually helped me come out a bit more and not worry so much about what I say and what people think of me. And I've actually become a lot more relaxed. And I started realizing that when I had my show with Crafty 2 weeks ago, is how much more relaxed I was about doing the show. I didn't care less that I was making mistakes. I didn't care less that I pulled a Team Skeptic move of muting my mic. I didn't care less that something wasn't working on my computer. The show has to go on, and you just have to carry on. And
I love
really
how that's a
didn't
Team
stress that
Skeptic
much.
thing, right? I love that's a Team Skeptic. But it's like that was the first place you went. I didn't care if I did a Team Skeptic mic mute. That's funny. That's hilarious. He's in the chat right now too, so I hope he hears that.
Well, I mean, we all like taking the piss out of him for doing that, muting his mic all the time. Even in his gaming channel, he does that often. So, I mean, it's just my way of taking the piss out of him, because why not? But it does happen, and I'm not the only one that it happens to. It happens to a lot, and it doesn't happen to just Team Skeptic either. It happens to a lot of streamers when we forget that we've muted our mic, or the mic is muted on the mute mic itself. And
Right.
I'm sorry, team, but it's true. It's true. But we still love you. You know that. But it's whether it's OBS cutting us out, or in my case when Twitch just decides to stop my stream on its own, these things happen, and I've just learned to just let it go and just have fun with it, whatever it is that I'm doing,
Right.
So I'm grateful for this platform. I'm an introvert, and I'm a very shy person, and for me to do this is helping me overcome that. And I think that's also what's helping me find something worthwhile. And doing this show and doing the Scientology show is helping me give something back, because I feel like there's nothing else I can do besides this in terms of giving back to communities and things like that. I mean, it's two different communities if you think about it. It's this community of skeptics and a lot of non-skeptics and partial skeptics, if you want to call it that. And then you go to another community where it's Scientology and anti-Scientologists and stuff like that. And so it's two different communities where I feel I can give back to,
Yeah.
Even saving kittens or cats from going to the SPCA or a shelter, giving them a home before they even get to prison kind of thing, because I see those shelters as prisons. That's my way of helping. It's, so I think entirely as a whole, I don't think there's anything else entirely that has helped me fulfill besides this. This is what I enjoy. And the moment this starts hindering my real life, that is when I'll take a step back and say, oh, hang on. This is not my life. This is just a show that I do, that that people enjoy doing. And this is also why I've moved it to a Sunday, because it started hindering my real life stuff. I mean, do this on a Saturday night, for me, I can go out for the day, but then I have to be home, so I can't enjoy the rest of the night with my friends. I have to be home to do this. So that's why I've moved it to a Sunday, because I come home after a weekend or whatever on a Sunday, come here, sit down, chill, hang out, have fun with some friends and people that enjoy the conversation. And then I go to bed after the show because I got work tomorrow, So this has helped me fulfill a lot in terms of helping me get out of being an introvert, helping me get out of being shy and so on.
Right. And, that's the thing that a lot of people talk, like I complain about my work from time to time, like most people do, but it's finding the things that you can, like, why do I work? Well, I work because this, I want to keep my kids fed and clothed and protected and whatnot. And it's finding a way to adjust your outlook based on, why do I do this? Am I working because I want fulfillment from work? No, I'm working because I want to take care of my family, which is where I want to get my fulfillment from. So sometimes it's not that easy, but if we could all learn to kind of adjust our, our outlook, that might tend to help find that fulfillment.
Yeah. And I see Clive Wells is putting words in my mouth.
Well, Clive Wells is good. He is good. No, he doesn't. Clive Wells does not count as real. Clive Wells is imaginary.
But what I mean, if I've met all of you guys in real life, you guys would not be internet friends to me. You'd be people I know in real life. I mean, like you, Johnny, you've met Team in real life. You've met a few from the community in real life. Mm-hmm. So they now count as your real life, acquaintances and friends. Whereas I've never met any of these people. I've never met any of you guys. So you am in real life, John. Clive, really. So until I've met anyone in real life, even if it's over video, you're still over the internet. I haven't met you in real life. So, that's, until I've done that, unfortunately, you guys are just on the internet for me, and I know that's a sad way, and I hate that. I hate knowing that. Yes, Crafty, it's an invitation to meet y'all. It really is. I would love to meet every single one of you at some point in my life, and then you wouldn't be just part of the internet for me. You wouldn't be just internet friends. You'd be real life friends. And I would like for that to happen, to change to real life friends. Honestly.
Yeah, it should, like I said, should be, he should be regretting it by the minute.
Not by the hour. Yes.
Not by the hour.
Well, let me just say hi to everyone, and then we can go to the chat for more questions if anybody has. So I see a lot of people have entered the chat. So it's basic trigonometry is here. Facty is here for no reason. Honey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Mr. Andrat, Sir Little Wolf, Team Skeptic. Thank you. You know what? For Team Skeptic to be in my side chat is something of an honor, because he hardly is ever here. And
some people see that as a plus, though. I'm just going to say.
Well, he's supposed to be my friend, so my online friend. So for him to be supporting me when I'm in almost as many chats as I can with his, I'm in almost every single gaming side chat of his, and I see him once every other month on my side chat.
That's not to make you feel guilty, Team Skeptic, at all.
Not at all. Wink,
at
wink.
All.
I don't think he comes into a lot of people's side chats, Crafty. He doesn't. He's always saying he's busy or he was sleeping, And Cole Edwards, a fellow Johannesburger. Nice to see you in my side chat. But it's fine. Enjoy the lurking, and I hope that we can entertain you while you lurk. If I were a real friend, you wouldn't stream when I sleep. Just wow. It's not my fault you go to bed at weird times.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow the Team Skeptic sleeping schedule, because you're like me, Team. You just sleep whenever it happens. Sometimes I'll be driving to work and I fall asleep. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, Anna can throw that back in his face, because he seems to put his premieres and videos out at 2:00 in the morning for me. So are you also a real friend, Team?
There you are.
Your streams that you have are like 1:00, 2:00 in the morning for me. So I feel like I have to make up by being in your game streams for missing your actual streams. So I am a real friend.
Ooh, take that, Team. Take that.
Touche. Yes, there we go. Ouch.
I thought I was gonna have to like, dig him out of the ice over this past week. He wouldn't answer calls, and I couldn't make sure he was all right. So I was gonna get the old sled dogs out. drive over there or sled over there and dig him out of some ice. He'd be a little block, and we could just take him to the the observatory and leave him frozen.
Oh, until he unfroze. After we've all evolved into something else.
Exactly. He could be a specimen that the aliens study. Like, man, that guy looks just like us.
Just as skinny. Oh my goodness. All right. Question 2. We ready?
Let's do it.
What is the biggest waste of human potential? Oh my God, I can hear the answers coming out in the side chat. I can see them now. Before anybody posts anything, I can tell people are going to say Nathan Thompson.
All right. Let me say this about Nathan Thompson in his defense. I will come to Nathan Thompson's defense this one time and this one time only.
Okay, you can leave my stream if you feel like it. No, I'm just joking.
Nathan Thompson is a despicable human being. And I know I said I was coming to his defense, but I have to make sure and properly qualify this. Nathan Thompson is a despicable human being with questionable morals at best. But he is tenacious in his convictions.
And you got to give him that, yes.
Yes, not a lot of people are that tenacious or that convicted in what they believe. Is that always a good thing? Well, obviously not, because take a look at Nathan Thompson, what he does and what he says. But if we had people who were as tenacious as he was, in the right places, doing the right things, there's a lot of positivity that could come from that type of tenacity.
I agree with you.
But that's the only time I'll ever come to Nathan Thompson's defense. That's it. As far as I'm concerned, Nathan Thompson belongs behind bars for, many, many, many different things.
I completely agree with you.
But to answer your question, the biggest
waste of human potential.
Man, that's tough. The biggest waste of human potential. I mean, specifically, I couldn't give you. There's not just one specific answer I could give you, but I don't know. That's tough. That's tough.
It is a tough one.
I gotta think about that for a minute. My goodness. Biggest waste of human potential. I don't know. I guess vanity would be the biggest waste of human potential. Just in general. Because what are you really doing? Maybe, yeah, agree would definitely be a close second, if not.
I've always said with I agree the human race would have succeeded a lot further than we are now.
That's definitely a valid statement, because if we took away greed, like if you take a look at the Irish Hamburglar in a zombie apocalypse would be the biggest waste. My goodness, Jessica G.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah, but if you take a look at capitalism, and if you take away greed from capitalism, yeah, it works. But we can't do that. Not at least not naturally. We naturally can't do it. There's just something about the desire to have it all. All of it's mine. All of it's mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I just learned today that there is a town in our country that has gone independent. Like literally a town in the middle of our country that's gone independent. They have their own currency and everything. And they work in a way that reminds me of an old-fashioned way of doing things, that everyone in the town does something to serve the town. So that household are bakers. So they make, bread and such for the town. They make curtains. So they, their thing is to make curtains. So they make curtains and sell curtains. So everybody is buying from everybody. There is no supermarket. There is no little cafe on the side of the street. There is no, little store on the corner and such like that. So, and it works. They have their own power as well. They use hydropower to power the town, so they don't even use power from the country's power supply. Water as well, their own water, and they are doing so well. And it was just a white Afrikaans town, and now you guys call them mixed race. We use a word that is probably racially unacceptable in the rest of the world, but we call them colored. They're moving to this town, and so are Black people moving to this town, and they're being welcomed. So it's not just a white town, it's now becoming a multiracial town. As long as everybody contributes in some way to the town, they can stay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no one for profit. It's just everybody's helping out everybody in the town. And I just learned that today, and I was like, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that works in small samples or in small groups, but the bigger that it gets, the more potential for corruption. But yeah. I mean, so going to a strictly barter system would be interesting, especially if we all had our own, our own ways to power our homes and whatnot. But a lot of us have gotten too used to the comforts of having water and electricity just automatically delivered to our house.
Well, everything is automatically delivered to the house, and there is a currency. There's no bartering, well, unless you currency for something. So it's like what we have now. There is still a currency there. So, but there's no your store, as it were, is on your own property. So if you Johnny are growing tomatoes, great. That's where the town goes to for tomatoes. If the farm next to you grows potatoes, great. That's where you go get your potatoes. So that's how it works in this town. And I thought it was absolutely amazing that everybody has to do something. So if for me, if I couldn't contribute something to the town, I would go to someone to work for them that is contributing something to the town.
Yeah, that sounds like so we're starting to get into that, people talking about, well, that's communist. Here, communism in itself is much like capitalism. It's not bad until you put human influence in it.
Yes.
That's when it becomes corrupted or corruptible. Because all systems of government or economics or social interaction, whatever, are in theory, again, we're talking philosophy, they work in theory. But once we start putting that human influence on it, that's when it becomes corruptible.
Yes. Yeah. But there will always be corruption no matter what, and it's just up to the people, to try and make sure it doesn't happen. If there's enough people in a town that don't let it happen, because they even have their own police force and everything. So if there's enough people in their town that doesn't want it to happen, can keep it from happening, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't. Nothing is not going to. It just shouldn't happen. So yeah, I think for me the biggest waste of human potential is greed, and it will always be greed.
Yeah, I think that that's probably the fairest assessment, because greed definitely kills a lot. When it's everybody out for themselves, then everybody loses.
And that's the saddest part. That is the saddest part. All right, so I've been asked a question, and I know it's got nothing to do with, to do with the show, but I have to explain load shedding to the Texans. Now, if you guys don't know what load shedding is, it's obviously when the company that supplies your power. Now, do you want me to, Gregory, just confirm for me, do you want me to explain scheduled load shedding or just load shedding as a whole? Because there's two. I mean, load shedding is when the power company just turns off your power to what's the word? To conserve the power for the country. That's because we have load shedding here. So we have scheduled load shedding where at certain times in the day, they turn off your power for a certain amount of time. So generally it's about 2.5 hours that we have no power. So they can do whatever it is that they say they're doing. So it's like rolling blackouts. But
Yeah, that's what
scheduled
I was gonna say.
rolling
That's what.
blackouts.
Yeah, we call them
Yes.
rolling blackouts. Yeah.
So but these are just scheduled. So at a certain time, the power company will just shut off your power, and during that time, they're supposed to be fixing or doing maintenance on a generator, on a power, a power box or something. But this was supposed to be, I'm sorry, I'm going off topic quickly. This was supposed to be a 2-year plan in our country. It's now 10 years later and we still have it. Because the money doesn't go into maintaining the power grid. It goes into the back pockets. And that is why greed is a waste of human potential.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly the issue. Right. That's you're gonna turn my power off, cool, but you better be doing what you say you're doing. Because it's not like you're giving me a break on my electric bill. Like over here, when we were doing the rolling blackouts, there were Texas companies, electric companies, and gas companies that were gouging the absolute doo-doo out of people. I mean, 800% price increases because of the power drain. It was ridiculous. People who were paying, $800 per kilowatt hour. It was crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
And we, our government's just allowing them to do that. Our state government, yeah, no, that's fine. You can do that. No big deal because you guys give me kickbacks.
Well, not just that. I mean, even when our power is off, they still charge us for it.
Yeah,
so we still
why?
get charged for the power that is off. So they kind of estimate how much power you would use in those 2.5 hours, and then they bill you for it.
That's the most insane part about it.
I mean, how do you know that I have actually turned off everything and gone to sleep? What happens if I did turn off everything and went to sleep at that time?
Right.
Then
Well, what if I'm at work?
Me.
Right.
That's so
crazy.
Oh, Gregory, apparently, yes, they're going to be taxing people that have solar panels and generators.
See, that stuff right there. That stuff like that. That's what really chaps me. I can't get down with that kind of stuff.
Let me tell you the reasoning for that. Because we're using the sun's power, and maybe because of that, the sun is going to die.
Really?
The sun will go. That is the reason.
That's their reasoning, huh? So they don't have a scientist. They don't have a scientist one on that panel.
They think they're scientists. The person that is in charge of our coronavirus committee has a fraudulent doctorate. Not doctorate, a doctor's degree.
Right.
A fraudulent one. But she's still on the coronavirus committee. She's using books from 1980s and 1990s to determine what is happening in our country, and using that to tell us we are in, that our lockdowns are, we're in lockdown level 3, and cigarettes are the reason why, are the reason for our hiking in virus counts and such and such.
Wait, so because you guys smoke a lot, you have, oh, my goodness.
Our syntax is keeping our country alive. Cigarettes and alcohol is keeping our country afloat. And they stopped it. We were in junk status before coronavirus. You can imagine where we are now.
Good Lord.
So you should be happy with whoever's running your state right now.
No, I'm definitely not happy with them. And that's another thing. Just because it's crap somewhere else doesn't mean you need to try and be crap too. Okay.
I get it. But there was one time where someone would say they would rather have Donald Trump running the country than these asshats. You say
that until Donald Trump is running your country.
Yes, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Some people are like that. They would rather have that than what we have now, because we just want change. Right.
And see, but that's kind of the dangerous part of that That's what got Donald Trump elected in the first place. People thought they just wanted change, and then we elect somebody who is not the best, who doesn't have everybody's best interests at heart, who is detestable in so many different ways. So that idea, and like I said, that's why we elected Trump as a country. Well, here's somebody who's different. He says he's different. He's gonna, he's gonna do this. He's gonna do that, and blah blah blah. And it turns out he was just not. He wasn't the person he said he was going to be. So that's kind of dangerous when you get into that situation where it's, hey, we'll take this unknown or this kind of known. Yeah, it's.
Well, look, okay, this has gone very political, and I apologize to everyone. But the opposition has shown real potential in trying to help the country in and around what the current government is trying to do. The current government is trying to pass laws so as to make it that they can't be voted out. They're passing laws that's trying to make it difficult for everyone. And yes, we do need more scientists in this country. However, if they're not the right color, skin, they don't get the job. They screamed and shouted for more nurses and doctors to help out with the virus, and they got turned down because of the wrong skin colors. So it's not that we don't have the right experiences in this country, it's just that the wrong color skin.
So that apartheid thing still kind of happens.
In reverse.
Wow.
So let's move on from that because it's going to start making me angry.
Yep, we can do that.
And I'm sure that Carl would understand, and I'm sure that Gregory would understand as well. Sorry. I'm sorry this went all political. I don't like my shows to be political because it just makes me angry. So I do apologize to everyone. And yes, it is true about them believing that the sun is going to run out.
That's just so funny to me. I mean, it's funny, not funny, haha, but just funny. My goodness.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Next question.
All right, here we go.
Right. Next question is 3. Does knowledge have... Oh my goodness. I can't read this word. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat because I can't read this word and I feel like a twit now. I'm going to put it in the chat and put it up on the side. I feel like an idiot now. Oh goodness, wrong way. I'm sorry guys, I feel like an idiot now. I just can't read this word. I'm sorry. This is terrible of me. I can't read that word.
Intrinsic?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, intrinsic value. Yeah. Does knowledge have intrinsic value, or does it need to have practical use to have value? I think it's you can go both ways with that.
Okay, now because I don't know the meaning of that word.
Of intrinsic?
So terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the best way to explain it. Like natural, like essential or natural, I guess would be the best ways to define intrinsic. Does knowledge have a natural value or essential value? Okay.
Thank you. I'm now embarrassed.
No worries. I'm an English major, so I study words, and I don't know all the words either.
Okay. All right.
I disagree. Money does not have intrinsic value. We put the value on money.
I think you're trying to explain it to me.
Right. I gotcha. But knowledge, I think knowledge does have intrinsic value. It does have basic, or it has a natural value, because knowing that, say, plant A, if I eat it, will cause me to have some sort of stomach discomfort that could, potentially be lethal. Knowing that and knowing how to identify that knowledge is very intrinsic. Now the application of that knowledge, it's equally as valuable. Hey, Roxy, don't eat that plant because it'll kill you, or it could kill you. So yeah, I think it's one of those ones that you can go either way. it doesn't does it need to have practical value to have value used to have value? I don't know if it needs necessarily. I guess again we're definitely getting back into that philosophical question of what is value. I mean, value is something that we place upon things.
Mm.
Well,
I mean, this may also go back to our first question: is what we make worthwhile to fulfill our lives.
right.
You know, what we potentially see as something that is, you know, to make it meaningful in our lives. So in terms of that, I think having knowledge is valuable. But you know, you can't just read something and say, okay, that is knowledge. You know, you need to back it up with evidence and more research. You can't just read one thing and make it, you know, that is the value, or you know, that is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if someone just reads an article, they're giving that article value and saying, oh, it's true, when maybe it isn't, you know.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
Have I got it right in terms of what the word means?
I think you're right there. You're right there because if you pick up an article and read it, you have knowledge of whatever the article is about, but do you have the knowledge of true knowledge? You know what I mean? Do you have that understanding of what you've read? Like I could read something that says again, hey, plan A is bad, but if I don't know how to identify plan A and what plan A does to you, and do I really know? You know what I mean? So further, you know, delving into that, the why, the how, the who, the what, the when, all those important questions. That's where, you know, where you get into that true knowledge.
Yes.
Which I do believe it still has intrinsic value, still has that natural value, because, you know, if we're talking about, if we're talking about anything that's, you know, food, what can we eat? What can we not eat? That's intrinsic. We need to know those things.
Yes.
So yeah, again, it's both ways. I mean, having the knowledge that yes, we do need this, and yes, this is what we can do, versus how we apply that knowledge. I think that they're both equally as important.
Yes. I mean, the rest of the question says, or does it need to have a practical use to have value? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily has to have a practical use, because knowing how to play the Moonlight Sonata, is that practical? I don't think so. I think that's definitely something that's not something that everybody has to know or could, you know, benefit from knowing. But having somebody who knows how to play it, that's valuable.
Yeah.
Even as a listener, as somebody who, because you know that type of stuff is valuable. So
I mean, some people, I mean, if you look at today's world, there are some people that, you know, having the knowledge to be computer literate, for them, some people just don't want to care. I mean,
right.
the older, I mean, you know, like my grandmother, if she was still alive, she wouldn't care about a computer. She wouldn't want to, you know, she wouldn't want to know about how it works and so on and so forth, because that's not knowledge that she finds value in, you know. It all just depends on the person and what they put value on. I mean, for these things, I find value in the knowledge of what you think and what anybody else comes into my show thinks. You know, I mean, here I just read music. I find value in music,
Right.
and that's a different kind of knowledge, because that's, you know, that's a different way of speaking, if you want to put it that way. It's adding something to it. It's adding music. It's adding notes to it. It's adding melody to it, and you know, yeah. You can tell I haven't seen
Absolutely.
these questions because I'm a bit stuck on this one. I mean,
No,
you
no,
used
no.
that word.
No, no. Like I said, that's actually that's really cool because it's cool to get a fresh perspective on that type of question. I like looking at music as a type of as a form of communication.
Yeah, in fact, you just said it. Yeah.
There you go. All right, factory form of communication. Yeah, now it just rocks. That's true. Depending on who you listen to, though. And see, it's stuff like that. It's stuff like music, right? The
Yeah.
feeling, the way that a certain piece of music can evoke a feeling from a person that makes me question like truly atheistic style thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah, the stuff like that. That's where I start getting into like the deep question. But yeah, music, love it. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the value there. Where is is that a practical value? No, absolutely not. Do I have to enjoy music to, fulfill my basic needs of food, water, oxygen, safety? No, not at all.
It's just it's a nice to have. I call it a nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
In my household, we call things that are not. Some people may disagree with me, and I think music is something that I need in my life. Generally, I'll be playing music in the background, but because talking is enough. We don't need this noise in the back because it just does become a noise because you're trying to listen to the person. But for some people, music is not a necessity, and in my house, buying something that's not a necessity, it becomes what we call a nicey. So it's just like sweets or something. It's a nicey, and for us, music has become a nicey. It's just something nice to have. It's a want that we need. It's not a need. It's a want that's in our life. It's not a need. And for a lot of people, they'll disagree with me because music for them has helped them through a lot in their lives. Music has helped me. Excuse me. Music has helped me stay alive. If it wasn't for a certain band with a certain album, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, because of things that I've gone through in my life. And for me, so music has now become a need in my life. It's something that I have to have in my life. And also I suffer from tinnitus. So I suffer from a constant ringing in my ears. So I need music. I need noise in my ear, noise coming from, in my ears to... No problem, Cole. Thank you for the look. Sorry, that is a Twitch thing. I'm sorry. I just went into Twitch mode all of a sudden. I need music in my ears, but otherwise I just have a constant ringing and I can't sleep or I become annoyed. So music for me has become something that I do need. So,
for certain, yeah.
And for me, that's practical.
Okay,
but it's not knowledge, but it's a practical thing for me.
Well, but the knowledge of music, right? The knowledge of music, the how to play music, now that becomes practical, or the appreciation of music that has a practical use for you. It's kind of interesting how we can even with things that are that most people would deem practical or not, but there's still room for debate in that. That's really cool, really interesting.
Yes. But knowledge, I think, we can find a practical use for knowledge. We can find, for us, you can find knowledge anywhere on the internet. You can find something else on the internet to increase your knowledge of anything. People learn how to become mechanics from YouTube. People learn how to become carpenters from YouTube. People learn how to become streamers from YouTube. So you can use the knowledge from something to make it practical, and you find the value in the knowledge that you're gaining. So for me, when I first started, or before I even started, I found value in learning how to use OBS, for instance. I found knowledge how to use Stream Elements or Streamlabs to do the show, even StreamYard to do the show. So I found I had to find my value. I had to find my value in knowledge somewhere to make it valuable for what I'm doing. Even to do my job at work, there are some times where I'm like, oh, this is not working. How do I do this? So I Google it. So we put value in that kind of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Baconer said he found out the Earth was flat on YouTube.
I found it on Facebook.
Yeah, and so there are Facty and a couple of people bring up an interesting point that a source of knowledge can also be a source of misinformation.
No, he's definitely right. He's definitely right, and I agree with that. I mean, I found a lot of conspiracy theories that I eventually started believing a long time ago through YouTube.
I will have to disagree with you there, Clive Wells. There is value to flirfs. Just take a look at Daniel Pratt. There's value in that. Explain. I wouldn't have much of a channel if it weren't for flirfs or people who present misinformation. If they didn't say stupid things for me to point and laugh at, I wouldn't have much of a channel. So there's their purpose. There's their use.
Yeah.
They're the jackasses of society that we get to point and laugh at.
I think there's for a lot of channels in this community. If it wasn't for Flat Earth, they wouldn't have started the Flat Earth. They wouldn't have started their channel in the first place.
Right.
So I mean, it's. So we got to thank them, but at some point we got to say, okay, you can go away now.
Enough's enough. We've had enough. Yeah.
I mean, now it's Karens and it's sovereign citizens and it's other. There is anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, I mean, you get virus deniers. You get your
general idiots
and such.
Right.
So there's a lot out there that we can cover. And Flat Earth is quickly becoming one of those that we, don't need to.
So Flat Earth is
anymore.
Whereas Flat Earth is dying. It's been on its last life for probably a year and a half now. It's still an interesting thing to kind of look at too, because a lot of your flat earthers are also anti the science denialism in general.
Mm-hmm.
So Flat Earth is, for anybody who's looking at commentary channels or looking at debunking channels, Flat Earth is a good one to get into, to get your feet wet, to figure out how these conspiratorial minded people think in a subject or in an area that is so easily debunkable that you don't have to really worry too much about debunking what they say, so much as trying to figure out what parts of what they say need to be debunked. So figuring that out, and then getting into the more like the antivirus, the anti-maskers and whatnot, and then the sovereign citizen stuff. Getting into all that, just the whole conspiratorial minded thing. Flat Earth is a great springboard for that.
Yeah, I mean, my rabbit hole, as Bacon is saying, just getting into that rabbit hole. My rabbit hole 2-3 years ago was Scientology. That was my rabbit hole, because I can't scientifically prove, because I'm not good at math and science. So I couldn't. I would never be able to debate a flat earther, because I bounce off of what science has already said and proven. So I can't do the experiments myself. I can't, and frankly, I don't need to, because it's already all been done by scientists and non-scientists alike.
Right.
So there's no reason for me to do it. So I went on to something that I found a lot more interesting, that I found a lot more where I can actually have a say, and in turn help someone not get sucked into Scientology.
Right. The thing that kills me about Scientology, just as a quick side note, is that the guy who started the Church of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, it has a Guinness Book of World Record for writing the most pieces of fiction.
Yes.
Yet we're going to look to this guy for spirituality and how the whole thing works. Yeah,
That's everything that he's written has actually become church doctrine.
That's crazy.
You think so?
That's just yeah.
And the worst part is that the church is spending billions of dollars writing all of his work onto, I think it was not titanium. I think it's titanium plates. So if something happens to the planet, that will survive. It's been put into some kind of vault under some mountain. So if something happens to the planet, it will be found. So future civilizations can find his work.
It's not that. It's not even, his work is not good. His books are boring. His short stories are terrible. It's not good.
Try and tell that to a Scientologist who believes that the guy is a god.
I would have no problem looking John Travolta, Tom Cruise, and every last one of them in the face and saying, hey, L. Ron Hubbard is a quack. He's a terrible writer, and you're all idiots for believing in him.
Well, then, good luck on being stalked by PIs. Good luck on being fair gamed and having your trash being taken and people outside your house always video cameraing you, taking photos, being followed, and your life, they're going to basically ruin your life is what they're doing, is what they will do to you if you do that.
They can try, and they're more than welcome to. I have no problem leaving extra thick chunks of dog poo in the trash can for them to, take home with them. So they're more than welcome to take.
But that is what they'll do.
Yeah.
But anywho, if you want to catch more if you want to catch more Scientology, next week Saturday will be my show with Chris Shelton. And we will be discussing the 8 dynamics of Scientology, which is going to be fascinating because that is something I've never been able to find information on, which I still need to try anyway. I just don't know what they're all about and what they all are. So that will be very interesting. So if you want to be there to understand, we want to first understand Scientology before we start talking about the abuses as a whole subject. We want to understand Scientology first. So talking to an ex-Scientologist, I think, is the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If there's any more questions on any other questions that you guys never got to answer in the side chat, more than welcome to leave your questions and we can get to them. Otherwise, if you guys are ready to move along, we can move along. And Scientologists are crazy. You know what, Little Wolf? The saddest thing is there are a lot of good people in Scientology. They've just been brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the saddest part. I mean, a lot of people that have come out of Scientology constantly say there are a lot of good people there. They have just been brainwashed. And because of their brainwashing, they've lost children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, husbands, wives, partners. It's sad. It's really sad. If you're not one of us, we can't talk to you, kind of thing. It's an us versus them mentality, and it's the saddest thing ever. And there are a lot of, I've been watching the comments on my previous video with cats, and a lot of people have been mentioning a lot of other religions as the same. With Mormon being one of them, Jehovah's Witnesses being another, and it's extremely sad that there are more than one cult out there that is just in it for the money. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I just want to inform people on Scientology and their abuses. And as I said before, I don't care what they believe. They can believe in an apple as their deity. I couldn't care less. But it's their abuses and taking their money and making them take out second mortgages and financing other things, and taking credit cards and maxing them out on the person's name, and college funds and all of that all goes to Scientology. So they live on $50 a week, if they even get it at the end of the week, just to survive. And that money goes straight back into Scientology, because they're not allowed to buy food or anything else anywhere else but another Scientology company, or a company or a shop that is run by another Scientologist. We have a guest in this side chat, Taggy Bogle, that hasn't been around for a while. I hope you're doing really, really well. It's nice to see you around, Taggy, Tati. It's really, really good. I've been called a cult before, or I think that's what they said.
Wrong C word, Tati.
Okay, I think let's move to the last question here. Last question is, does jealousy have value in driving humans to improve themselves, or is it purely negative emotion?
I would have to say jealousy is purely negative emotion, because that's allowing somebody else to dictate to you what you should be doing. If at any time you are not making choices for yourself, then you are no longer... you're no longer allowing yourself to be in charge.
Yeah, I think there's certain degrees of jealousy. I mean, allowing your wife to have guy friends is good, because
see, I don't like the phrasing of that. Allowing my wife to have guy friends, like I'm some sort of jailer.
No, but okay,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, yes. Let me rephrase that. Now, your wife has guy friends. Not being jealous of those guy friends is a good thing, because that means you trust her. You trust the people she's around, and you trust her to make the right decision if that happens. I'm not saying you are allowing her. What I'm
I understand. It's just there's that patriarchal type of like normalcy that we put on. Well, the man allows his wife to do this. No, my wife does what she does because she is her own person. So I don't know. There's things like that. They kind of they trigger something in me. I'm not saying I guess I am triggered. I'm triggered. Take that with what you want, chat.
Sorry, quickly. Gregory says, I live directly opposite a school based on Scientology. We don't need to talk a bit. I wouldn't mind talking to you about that, Gregory. That'd be interesting. If you are in Discord, you can find me on Team Skeptics Discord. And we can DM there and have a good chat. That'd be interesting. I'd love to hear more about that. So Sir Little Wolf says, hate feeling jealous. I think we all hate feeling jealous. I think that's a human emotion that some people cannot control. A lot of people, it goes to an extreme where it's leads into crime of passion. It leads into very horrible things, to be honest, if the jealousy gets out of hand.
Yeah, it can be quite debilitating.
I think it can be very damaging to someone's life. It really can. Allowing jealousy to control you because of whatever that person is doing. I mean, even you get people that are even just jealous of you looking at another man or a woman. Just perfect. L. Ron Hubbard's first wife, I think it was Mary Sue. No, Mary Sue was his last wife. I can't remember now his first wife's name. He's at 4, by the way. That's why it's, yeah. he hit his wife because she smiled in her dream because he said she was dreaming about another man.
Oh, good Lord. My
You know,
goodness.
I mean, that to me is, how do you control what you're dreaming about and what you do in terms of emotion?
I mean, yeah. Take that out of the whole equation. How do you know? What if she was, smiling at, I don't know, a freaking steak that was put on her plate? Who knows? What does it
Yeah.
matter? That's the silliest thing. Like people who get, you always hear about that. People who get irritated at their spouse because their spouse had a dream, or they had a dream their spouse did something, so they wake up irritated at their spouse. Like that's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I think jealousy is also probably a waste of human potential.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not one of the biggest, but it is there. Unless we'll put it in the top 10, you know, of waste of human potential. I mean, a lot of people may say that, and I think I fall into this a little bit, but having a little bit of jealousy proves that you care. And I'm keen to be proven wrong, and I'm fine with that. But I think having a little bit of jealousy proves that you care.
Yeah, but I think you can prove that you care without being jealous of somebody, without jealousy, right? So, I mean, if I haven't demonstrated to my wife, and see, it'll be 12 years, and 12 years next month. And we've known each other for 13. If I haven't demonstrated that I care about her in those 13 years, then she would stop being my wife.
Yeah.
She would discontinue. And vice versa, right? If it was, so I don't think you have to have jealousy to be able to demonstrate and show that you care. Jealousy is dangerous because it can lead you to do some things that just aren't rational. It leads to irrational thinking.
Yeah.
And so Sir Little does definitely say something. There's a difference between being jealous and protective. And I
Yes,
agree
that's
with
what I was
that.
just going to get on. Yes. I
Yes.
think, yeah.
I was, my wife and I were out many, many, many years ago. And we were leaving the pub, and some guy put his arm around my wife. And I looked at him and said, if you don't take your arm off my wife, I'll kill you where you stand, basically. That's not me being jealous of him. That's me being protective of my wife. Not to say that she needs my protection, because she probably, messed him up a lot nastier than I could. I think I was 3 sheets to the wind at that time, but even still, it's that there is that difference between protective and jealous. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think maybe protective is the better option.
I agree.
Sorry, not the better option. The better way of putting how I feel instead of being jealous.
Gotcha.
If another woman puts her arm around my fiance's waist, she better have a good reason as to why she's doing that.
He better be falling over, and she's going to catch him from busting his head on the brick or something. Yeah, I get it. Otherwise,
so she's going to be the one, by accident falling on her face.
I'm going to accidentally kick your feet out from underneath you, lady.
Yeah. So I mean, and Jess says, I can neither confirm nor deny that my ex may or may not have went to heaven because I had a dream about him cheating. We heard or saw nothing, Jess. It's fine. You said nothing. It's all good.
Yep. What happens on the internet stays on the internet. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't work.
This isn't Vegas.
This is not Vegas. Dang it.
But it talks about improving oneself. I don't think jealousy can be used to improve oneself.
No, it's only going to destroy you. It's only destructive. And if you're with someone and you have a constant feel of jealousy, then you need to step away. You just need to step away because, you know, it's like you were talking about. It's a trust thing. If you can't trust your partner, then there's no reason for you to be there with your partner. So if the only thing you feel is jealousy whenever your partner is not with you, then you probably shouldn't be with your partner.
Well, the only jealousy I feel is that I'm not there with them.
Yeah, right. That's a little
Enjoying
different.
my time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily call that. I'm more envious about not being able to spend the time with.
It's FOMO.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, jealousy. It's the only negative things, and it's a destructive emotion to feel.
Yeah, I don't know. I think jealousy does drive people to, as they say, jealousy makes you nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those, you know, that it will always be there no matter what. It's like greed will always be there. No matter what anybody does, it will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
It will be very difficult. I think it'll be easier to get rid of greed than it is to get rid of jealousy. But I think jealousy comes along with greed, or vice versa.
Yeah, they probably do go hand in hand.
Well, someone's jealous of you.
Team Skeptic is. He should be. Because I have running water. I can't drink it, but I have running water. You know, you're more than welcome to come over here and watch the water run out of our faucet. Like I said, we got to boil it first, but you know.
Team, is that the real reason why you're jealous?
Probably is.
But just going on that, I'm just hoping that everyone of you that live in Texas are keeping safe and keeping warm.
Yeah, like I said, it's 60. I think it's right at 62, 63 Fahrenheit, which don't get me trying
real
to do
temperature, please. Real temperature.
That is real temperature. I'm sorry. It's almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost 70 degrees freedom units. Okay.
Freedom.
Let's see. What is that? I'll do the conversion.
Yeah. I was just about to do it.
Yeah, I think it's 21. I was going to say 21 or 22.
That's not too bad for winter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's our winter here. I mean, we'll have 6 inches of ice one week, and then the next day, like all the ice and snow melted within a day and a half. It was gone. As soon as the temperature turned up, it was all gone. That's the reason why we're so inept at dealing with it, because we don't get it very often, and when we do get it, it doesn't last very long. I think 4 days was the longest that it has lasted that I can remember.
Goodness. Well, like I say, everyone that lives there, please keep safe. Really do.
Yeah. Like I said, right now it's the dealing with the aftermath. They should have all the pipes fixed and whatnot within the next few days. You know, so we got teams and crews that are working around the clock to get it all taken care of.
Well, it looks like we have some visiting going on on that side.
Yep.
Anyway, but anybody have any questions, statements, opinions that'd like to leave in the side chat, and we can discuss those for a little bit before we end this? Unless you have something else you'd like to discuss or put your opinion on.
No, I've had a lot of fun. Like I said, this has been the questions are been very enlightening and interesting.
I'm glad. Crafty says she's got to run. So Crafty, thank you very, very much for popping in. I do appreciate it very, very much. And we'll see you soon. I've had a good time. I've really, really had a good time, and I'm grateful that you accepted to come on the show.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You're one of the few voices that I generally tend to gravitate to.
Is it my accent?
It is the accent. That South African accent is by far the second sexiest accent in the world. Now, I don't know if it's the accent. I don't know if it's the type of conversation that you generally have. These deep question conversations, I think, are what really kind of interests me.
Well, I mean, I've always said that you don't have to know maths and science to be intelligent.
Right.
You can have intelligence in any topic, any subject. And I'm not trying to blow my own horn here. This is not me blowing my own horn. I just think I just enjoy this kind of conversation. And if this makes me intelligent in that way, then so be it. I just really enjoy this kind of conversation. And this is why I will try my best to continue this for as long as I can.
And like I said, I generally, I mean, you do these now that you moved them to Sundays, are much easier for me to watch because I usually have Sunday off, and they're after the Beardsman show. So I'm usually working on my unpopular opinion scripts when you've got these shows going. So yeah, it's really cool to kind of put that on the background, and I'll pop in and make fun of your guest every now and again.
I enjoy that. I enjoy when you pop in and make fun of my guests. I'm learning to be a lot less strict on what people say in my side chat, and if they want to make fun of the guests, then that's fine, like they did with JL Warren about his ghost hunting abilities. I've learned to calm down from that. I had a bit of an epiphany along with my friend Bacon Earth, who's helped me with that. I've come to realize that it's okay. People want to have fun in the side chats, let them have fun in the side chats. And if, you don't have to say everything that people are saying, that are typing in the side chat. Just put it up like I've now started doing. And people enjoy that kind of thing. And I think I've got a question for you.
No, you can ignore that one. You can ignore that question.
Are you sure?
You tell Clive. That's that fake Clive Wells.
Oh, is it the fake one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yes, I see that everybody says they've been having fun, and see that a lot of people have enjoyed the stream. Gregory, we must find a way to connect with each other. Maybe even make a new a new Twitter account just to contact me, whichever way works for you. Otherwise, you can grab my email address on my about section and you can email me. That will also work as well if they aren't able to do that. I don't mind having assholes in the side chat. I really don't, because I'm actually learning that it makes it fun. But yes, I want to thank everyone for coming. But before we even close off, Johnny, what's happening on your channel or channels and your website?
Well, let's see here. Tomorrow is unpopular opinions, which I'm told are not very unpopular, but that's fine. Let's see here. I've got Kids Corner that's going to start this week again. So we took Kids Corner out of the Dingleberries and Klingons show and made that its own show. So Isabella the Stargazer, she's going to come on and we're going to talk about God knows what. She's getting bigger and bigger, and her ideas and interests are changing, and it's always fun. And then after that, I've got a new Karen video that I'm working on for Dingleberries and Klingons on Friday. And then also have the podcast Friday nights, Central, 8 p.m. Central, rockmetaltalk.com, where I get on there and just shoot to do with whoever decides to join. Sometimes it's JL Warren, sometimes PhD Tony, could be any old guests for, just whatever we want to do. Talk about whatever.
And I think a lot of people would like to ask, when are you going to have Team Skeptic on again?
That's up to Team Skeptic. He has an open invitation. Anytime he wants to stop by, he is more than welcome to come on the show, and we can talk about what it's like living in a third world country now that we don't have water and power.
Join my club. Come
there you go.
Join my club now. Now you know how I feel.
See, there he goes. There he goes. He's going with his Goodfellas attitude.
I'm not going to put that up because there's swearing in it.
That's fine. See, look at that. You've been censored, team. Haha.
Hashtag stop censoring Team Skeptic.
Well, you know what? He says that, but the last time I had him out here, I gave him steak. So
Yes, team, because I'm trying to keep this a PG. Trying to keep it PG. Just no swearing. If you didn't put swearing in there, I wouldn't have censored you. It's only the swearing that stops it. That's all. My chat didn't censor you. I'm just not putting it up on the screen. That's it. So I didn't censor you. I didn't time you out. So you're not being that much censored, or censored that much. I beg your pardon. So calm down. Calm down.
you get him.
Okay,
Oh,
so
team, you don't owe me anything for steaks, man. I was happy to do it. I was going to cook him anyway. So there you go.
you see, it's because he could, like we were speaking about earlier.
Right.
Helping others out.
Do it because I can and I want to, not because I feel obligated to, or that I think somebody's going to have to owe me anything. Nobody owes me anything, except for that one guy with the one thing in the one place. He knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, so quickly, Gregory, then quickly make yourself another Gmail account. They're very easy to do, and then you can email me. Then you won't have to dox yourself, okay? Then I have put all of the plot holes information in the description, so you can grab it all there. Then as for next week, Saturday, I have Chris Shelton on for the Scientology Endgame show, which will be at 8:00 p.m. my time on Saturday. It was 12 Central and then 6 GMT PM. It's all PM. And then the next show for Out of This World Thinking will be Dr. Clive Wells. So also looking forward to that.
You mean Dr. Fake Wells?
Oh, the Clive Wells that's in my side chat. I don't know if there's another one, but the one that's in the side chat has been communicating with me. So whether that's a real one or not, I don't know. Just as long as he helps me with a good show.
There you go. Oh, I forgot to mention that we're getting Craft Tequila and Bacon Earth to have the great bacon debates. I think that's going to happen next week sometime, but we're not for sure. I'll firm up the date and let everybody know. But keep an eye out for that one too, because that one's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. And if that's on a Saturday, 2:00 in the morning, my time, I'll watch it in the morning. Because I know me. I'll wake up. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. I'll watch it in the morning. I know me. My sleep to me is just, I need it. And then when I get it, I take advantage of it. Otherwise, I just don't sleep, and it's not good. I was kidding, love, but here is my censored version. I beg your pardon. Here we go. Let's put it up for Team Skeptic, since he feels like he was censored. Then drop dollars in my bank account.
I do every month. I drop dollars in your bank account every month.
And you're a member of his, so
yeah, there you go. See,
there we go.
I had fun. I gotta say, I had fun with this.
I've enjoyed this, and I've always said this to each one of my guests that I've already had on. You all have an open invitation to be on again. So send me a line if you want to be on again. More than welcome.
Absolutely.
Other than that, everyone, if you haven't already, which I'm guessing that everyone in the side chat already has, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Donate to my cause. Become a patron. Links are in my description. I hate doing this part because I feel like I'm begging for money, but if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, all the links are down there. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for joining in the conversation. Thank you for having fun, and we'll see you next week, Saturday, for Chris Shelton's show. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, everyone. Bye.